Well, it's open sports, Mike. We got Jeremy, we got Bear, we got a fan from Louisiana, and then yours truly. Let's see. We're talking NFL draft. We might have trivia. I mean, if Big Rich comes, we're probably going to have the Big Rich versus Big D trivia showdown, I hear might be, which I hear might be better than the Bayern Munich PSG classic tonight. And hopefully the Tigers don't lose any more players because I think Casey Mize has already left, and Javi Baez is hurting. Jeremy,
What's that?
I think you're down a couple players tonight because Mize is hurt, and then Baez left after playing the first base.
The way they play, I'm more worried about Mize than Baez because Baez swings at shit that's 6 inches off the plate.
Oh boy. You don't know if he'll swing from the helmet to 20 feet in front of the box.
Exactly.
I just put my headphones back in. Are we lost or something?
No, we're not lost. I'm just wondering if anybody else is coming. But it's weird. In the last 3 or 4 days, 2 big league managers have been fired. That's crazy to me. Alex Cora, and then the Philly manager was booted today.
Well, look how bad the Boston Red Sox are playing. They're abysmal. They can't bat, they can't steal, they can't pitch. They're doing everything wrong. And their team batting average is under 200 right now. I would have fired Cora before the season started and looked for somebody in the off season, but that's just me.
Maybe the problem isn't who's managing, but roster construction. Because looking back on it, you wonder how the Red Sox could let Bregman and Devers leave. We've seen teams get off the bad starts. The Mets started isn't anything to write home about, and for now, New York hasn't made a managerial change, but that might change. Guys, what's going on?
I don't do baseball, bro. I'm lost in the sauce on all the baseball talk.
I've been so focused on football that I haven't got back to baseball yet. That'll happen later in the week. I'm about to draft in the UDFAs.
Okay, I've got one. Back to the NFL draft. Talking to the Louisiana guy first. What did you think of the Saints draft? Oh boy, we got the trivia showdown. We got Rich.
I'm glad he's here so I can answer this question. What up, Rich? I'm glad he's here for me to answer this question to you. You said, how do you think the Saints? You said, how do you think?
Say again.
He asked me how did I think the Saints do in the draft? Let me put it this way. We're the kings of the draft, baby. We got an A, and the champ's here.
Here we go.
Okay. If you say so.
No, I was just bragging because I got this in finally.
I see that. Looks good.
You just needed a reason to show off the belt. That's all.
Yeah. No, the belt looks good. Belt looks real good.
Look at that leather. Look at the interior
I
on
mean,
it. This
I watched the first 3 rounds. Okay, I watched the first round of the draft from the sports bar on the cruise ship. They had it on. And then I watched the second, third rounds in the stateroom because we had ESPN too. It's like it was a draft. It was a functional draft. There was not too much. I mean, the entire bar in the boat, as well as every commentary on TV, I think when the Rams picked at 13, all went, "Oh, really? Oh my God!" Right? There was that moment. Outside of that draft pick for the Rams at 13, drafting Ty to be their quarterback of the future 2 years from now or whatever. You know what I mean? It was a draft. It was a functional draft. It wasn't a sexy draft. Um, Ruben Bain going to Tampa. I mean, Tampa does it again. They get another great player, and he looked like he's pissed off because he didn't go higher. So great, thank you NFL. Now we got a pissed off Ruben Bain to deal with. I mean, but otherwise it was a draft. Like for the Bears, pretty much did everything I thought they were going to do. I mean, no defensive end. Knew that was going to happen. There was going to be no edge. The only pick that kind of threw me at first was taking a tight end in this the second round, third round. That was like okay, but then I was like, well, we only had 2 on the roster, so it makes sense. You like to carry 3, so why not? Um, the draft was okay. I mean, it wasn't like it's been the last couple of years. The funny thing, though, I think about the draft, and JB, you might be able to expound on this some. With the new format, it seemed like ESPN, I don't know how NFL Network or some of the other networks were, or even how our draft shows were, because I couldn't watch them because I didn't have Signal FC to watch us on X or anything. But like the pick would come in, you know how it goes, Rich. They go, okay, the pick is in. They drafted Marky Mark for the New Orleans Saints. Great. Well, hey, let's tell you about Marky Mark and show you footage and tell you how good or bad the pick was, and then say, well, hey, Ken's on the clock next. Is he going to draft JB or is it going to be Dylan? And then they'll spend some time talking, giving us their pontification, who they're going to take. This draft was like, hey, so they drafted Marky Mark, and let's show you some tape. Oh, the pick is in. Like, and they were not prepared for the sped up draft, and it was almost comedy to watch them try to keep up with it.
That's what it didn't. That's what it didn't help for me. The flow of the draft was great as far as the picks coming in and everything getting done, but you didn't get the information in between each pick like you used to, especially with anybody that was trying to trade back and waited to later in the 8 minutes to get the pick. Because by the time they said, oh, they picked this person and it's announced on stage, 30 seconds later, the pick was in again.
Yeah, so from ESPN's coverage, what I saw, what made me mad, there'd be a trade. Like, okay, the Bears, I knew they were on the clock, and all of a sudden they're off the clock, but there was a trade. Okay, what was the trade? They didn't say what the trade was. Just, in fact, sometimes I was watching that Bears pick, the one pick they traded, and they even say the Bears traded it. Just they showed the pick that was being picked. They even mentioned that the Bears had traded out where they were now going to be drafting. You're in the dark. I mean, unless you could follow Shefty on X or something.
Oh, they did an interview with Mike Greenberg and with Reese Davis, and Greenberg was even saying that it was definitely different. You don't think that 2 minutes makes a huge difference, but it did. And when it added up, it definitely had more of a reaction to the production end of stuff. Them actually announcing things wasn't affected that much, but doing the little production vignettes and all that kind of jazz, that was where they ran into issues because of that loss of 2 minutes. The other thing that they ran into sometimes was, and I'm sure you saw it because it was aggravating the hell out of me, that you would have the pick come in, it would show like a minute left, go to commercial, and the Colts pick is up next, and it's 3 minutes of commercials, and then they announce the Colts pick. Well, wait, time out. Their pick was supposed to have been in during the Jerky Boys commercial, not now. So there was that other part of it too. Yeah, that part aggravated me, but I thought it was interesting when Greenberg was talking about that.
Yeah,
It's
ESPN did a terrible job of announcing what the trade compensations were on these trades. Like, I think they just gave up. They're like, well, shit. I mean, we don't have time to talk about the trade compensation. We barely have enough time to talk about the player.
It was like after Mendoza was picked, it was all a shakeup. Everything was crazy after the Mendoza pick.
And David Bailey.
Yeah, but it wasn't
was
crazy because it wasn't crazy because you had some team jumping up from 18 to 2 or 3 or 5. It was crazy because of production, not because of like the teams or what they were there to do. It wasn't like it was crazy draft time, like because people were doing all kinds of crazy. The teams were doing crazy stuff. Production was crazy. It was like they didn't know how to deal with the loss for the 2 minutes.
Well, what's up with the comment there, Jeremy? Did I miss
Which one?
Did I miss the baby oil or what?
No, someone made a comment.
Somebody asked if this was a Diddy party, and I said, "There's no Diddy here." That's all.
Well, that comment erased then.
Yeah, they did. From what I saw, the first 3 rounds from the cruise ship. I mean, part of it we were kind of lost a little bit because ESPN wasn't keeping up with it, and we're like, wait a minute, weren't we on the clock? Where'd the Bears pick go? Oh, they must have traded out. Okay, but what'd they get? They never told us. And all of a sudden, the Bears are picking. Like, oh, okay, I guess we're picking. I don't know how the other networks handle it because all I got on the boat, you're limited, and I didn't buy the data plan at $50 a day, so it's just more expensive than my internet for the month, right? So yeah, it was kind of a little bit hard to follow. I guess, from talking to Kitty Cat Ken, they at least had Shefty on X. They were tracking Shefty, and he was breaking down the trades on X. But ESPN, come on, at least like roll that on the bottom. You've got your own insider. You could roll from him and say, hey, here's what the trade is. They could roll it on the bottom of the screen. They didn't even do that. It was terrible.
4 teams were graded an A for their draft class. You want to take a wild guess who the 4 teams were?
The
tell you who
Giants,
one was.
the Jets, the Saints, and the Chiefs.
None of those were correct. The Jets were the most. Jets got an A minus. I'm talking about solid A. They graded the Browns, the Raiders, the Cowboys.
You didn't even let us guess.
I'm sorry. I thought
You only let one person guess.
Yeah, what's up with that?
You gotta learn how to work this stuff, man. You gotta learn how to work this stuff.
I was going to say the Browns. I have literally said the Browns since day one had the best draft.
I'll let Adam do B's and Rich can do C's and Dylan can do D's and Ken can do the worst.
I didn't deny that they had a good draft, Adam. I was like, well, the big problem is they now have 3 receivers and nobody to throw them the ball.
They got Taylon Green. They got Tatum Green. He's 6'6". He's going to be their starter. Watch.
Who did? The Browns?
Yeah.
I can understand why people gave the Raiders a good grade. They filled a lot of needs. In their off season and in the draft, they did very good on the new
oh boy, who do we have now?
The Eagles did a great job of showing us that A.J. Brown's going out the door.
Yeah, but you know what though, Rich? Do we believe he's going to New England on June 1st?
I'm not saying he's going to New England, but I'm saying he's not going to be wearing a Philadelphia uniform on opening day.
Yeah, but I mean, how much are you going to pay for A.J. Brown at this point? Like
Depends
a
what
third
team
rounder,
it is.
5th rounder? It's like Ayuk, right? Ayuk and A.J. Brown, like both their trade values got to be next to nothing right now.
A.J. Brown's is way above Brandon Ayuk's because if nothing else, A.J. Brown can stay healthy.
Yeah, but I mean, from a tactical standpoint, as far as leverage for getting compensation for them, the Eagles are kind of like have no leverage. I mean, you're either going to you're going to be stuck with them, and you can keep the drama and the money issues, blah blah blah, or you're going to have to dump them because no one has to take them. No one has to take them at this point.
Go ahead,
Eventually they get a 2.
I can give you the 3 worst drafts right now, and it's real easy. They're all in the NFC West. The Seahawks, the Rams, and 49ers. They were awful.
I'll say this. I think there were 3 or 4 bad drafts. I think San Francisco's draft didn't make a lot of sense. They kept reaching guys. Minnesota's draft looked a little ugly. Let me think. Miami's draft.
The
I'll tell you this. You guys are going to think I'm nuts. You guys are going to think I'm crazy. I think Ty Simpson might not be the better quarterback compared to Fernando Mendoza, but he couldn't be in a better situation.
No, that's a great,
Sean
great fit.
Sean McVay and gets to sit and watch for you.
I mean, well, no,
do you know what? Do you know what makes it a bad pick? When Sean McVay, when they showed the war room, he crossed his hands and looked like he was a punished kid in the corner. He hated the pick.
JB, he knew. I mean, he called Stafford up there in a day. They called the backup there in a day. Look, I think it's a great pick. I think it's smart because look at Stafford with his health issues, his back issues. Like they just Jordan loved it, and for them, they looked at this pick at 13, going, "Look, this is a bonus pick. We really don't have. We can do whatever the hell we want with it." And yeah, maybe you could have gotten tied later, but do you think he's going to survive, make it past 21 at Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Maybe not, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, it's a pick for them was kind of a throwaway. Now they got a 5th-year option on the guy. He could sit there for even 2 full seasons behind Stafford before he even touches the field as a starter. The only thing they want to make sure they do or don't do, and Jason will understand this, they don't want to do what Green Bay did. Green Bay, when they got Jordan Love, didn't want him on the bench for 3 years. They probably thought 2. And then they get 2 years of play and then have to make an extension decision. Well, what happened to Green Bay, as we all know, is he sat for 3. They played for 1. Then they had to make a massive extension decision based off of 1 year of play. This is a great situation for them because he can be there for 2 years on the McVay and with Stafford, being in the 2 spot. And then when Stafford rides off in the sunset, they have their heir apparent. The best time to get a quarterback is when you don't need a quarterback. And they don't need a quarterback right now, but they've set themselves up for sustained success once Stafford leaves, kind of like the Packers did with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love.
Can I ask what might be a really dumb question, though?
What?
Is he any better than Stetson Bennett?
No.
You know what? I mean, that's a question where you have to say McVay and the GM had to think that he's got a higher ceiling than Bennett in order to make that pick, because it was like the Caleb Williams and Justin Fields argument for the Bears in that draft. Ryan Poles would have to feel that Caleb Williams is already better than Fields or have a higher ceiling than Fields to replace Fields, and he believed that, and he drafted, and it's proved to be true. I think the same situation could hold with the Rams with taking Ty. And look, for them, it's a no harm, no fault. What they give up to get that pick? Nothing. So, they have that pick. It's a throwaway pick for them. And their worst case scenario, maybe they trade him away for a 2nd rounder or a 3rd rounder in a couple of years if he doesn't see the field. So, in a way, it was a really good pick for them.
All right, guys, how about this? Rich and I are the trivia savants, so I figured we would do a one-on-one trivia show. So, Rich,
are you ready? Guys here?
Are you ready? Are you ready, big boy?
We're not doing open trivia tonight. What the fuck?
No. You guys are gonna ask Miss Rich.
No, we're not.
No, that's not what I came here for. I came here for a normal open sports fight.
No trivia tonight, Jeremy. Mister. Anyway, Jeremy, what did you think of your draft? I didn't get to hear.
I think it was solid.
I didn't get to hear any of your thoughts.
I thought it was solid, functional. We hit all our needs. Everybody, the only one that we didn't get to hit was safety, and that we traded with Buffalo, and we had every intention of taking Jalen Kilgore. So when they sniped Kilgore by taking him right after the trade with the pick before the one we traded with, we decided to go with the guy that could replace Khalif Raymond in the future, because Greg Dortch is about to turn 30 next season, and we only signed him to a 1-year deal.
Did you get a center?
We got a center before the draft.
Is Tesla finally going to, is this going to be his little breakout year this year, Jerm?
Well, he's going to be in the slot. He's definitely the number 3 wide receiver this year.
Our lads
It's your
has
next
him,
jersey, man.
It is.
Our lads has him lined up as the wide receiver number 2, and they have Brown in the slot.
Well, Brown plays wherever the hell he wants or wherever they want to line him up at. He's played the X, he's played the Y, he's played the Z. He's even played at the 4th wide receiver spot in some formations. But he's a focal point of this offense. He's our wide receiver 1. JMO's our 2, and Tesla's our 3.
All right. Jay, you haven't said anything yet.
That's the next jersey Adam's got going is that Tesla jersey. I can tell you right now.
It's the next one I'm buying.
He's on my dynasty team. Jeremy, I can get like the almost on-field ones now.
I can. The only thing they don't have are the straps that attaches them to the.
Yeah, okay. Jay, what'd you think of your draft? Yes, I'm asking everyone this question just to let everyone know if you want to get a little prepared.
Yeah, so as far as Green Bay's draft is concerned, overall, I give it about a solid C. We only had a total of 8 picks in this entire draft. Obviously, most of our first-round picks were dealt away when we got Micah Parsons. Hey, you gotta get something to give something, right? Or is it the other way around? I don't know. But at any rate,
you got to give to get. Yep.
Yeah, thank you. I get confused with that sometimes, being a Packers fan. But yeah, I give it a solid C. I got to admit, I really wanted them to take Chris Johnson, the cornerback out of San Diego State. I was hoping he would fall down to day 2, but it didn't happen. So with that being the case, we got the next best player on our board, which was Brandon Cisse. I mean, look, considering that every player in this draft from pick 1 down to pick 255 is really a major crapshoot. I'm not going to say whether Cisse is going to be a bust or a boom out star, but he has all the skills needed to be a good young player in this league. I really like the pick of Chris McClellan from Missouri in round 3. I thought that was a good snatch.
Does he want the link to come in, Jeremy? You want to ask him?
Paul, if you want to come in to talk about your Pats, we can send you a link. I can forward it to you real quick.
Hey, Jason, what do you think? Looking at the Packers draft, besides the fact you got a kicker, which I'm not going to fault you for, I mean, because the Bears took a punter. I mean, you do what you got to do sometimes, right? They needed a kicker. They did need a kicker. But I thought the Packers, for me, they fell short. And I agree with your C. Actually, I really do agree with your C because I'm like, that offensive line needs help, and they didn't do anything to help it. And I love Zach Tom, great player, but we saw the problems with the offensive line last year, and it was like the Packers really didn't do much offensively in the free agent frenzy. Didn't do much in the draft either to help. I'm sorry, they brought in the brother of your running back to be his backup running back. Great, so you got Jacobs or Jacob, but I mean. I was befuddled that they didn't even try to draft an offensive lineman in that draft.
Yeah, well, they did, Ken. They took Jager Burton out of Kentucky in round 5. I think he was the only offensive lineman they took. He's a center.
Yeah.
But when you look at their picks and looking at them right now, they took pretty much 5 of their 6 picks, with the exception of their kicker, Trey Smack, are all defense. And so what that tells me right there is that the Packers are putting more emphasis on bringing the younger players into their defense first rather than the offense. Do I agree with that philosophy? Not really. I think they could have had a little bit more potpourri because I agree with you. The offensive line needs a lot of work. Zach Tom, injury prone. Aaron Banks is the human false start machine. So is Sean Ryan. Too many penalties, not enough depth on the offensive line. So I agree with you. There should have been a little bit more this was just a one-sided draft for them. They leaned too heavy on defense when they should have kind of tried to mix it up 50-50, half offense, half defense. That's just my take.
And thank you for correcting me. I forgot you guys got the center. I mentioned it this morning and blanked it.
That's all right.
Now, and what the other thing that made me think with all the defense, I'm like, okay, you just lost Hafley. I'm wondering if there's going to be a massive dynamic change to this defense this year, and that's also why they went so heavy.
Well, there is. Yeah, and again, their new defensive coordinator is Jonathan Gannon. And so that told me something there is that these players, especially Chris McClellan, are Jonathan Gannon guys. These are quick guys. They may not necessarily have the length, but they have the upper body strength to where they can get some leverage on the offensive lineman they're going to be matched up against. And they have some speed in the defensive backfield as well, especially Brandon Cisse. Now, I've heard back and forth on Cisse whether or not he has the speed to be a lockdown cornerback. But you're right, Ken. With Jonathan Gannon being our new defensive coordinator, he's going to be looking for faster guys in that defense, younger guys in that defense. So that says a lot, too, about their philosophy.
Marcus, what team you want?
You're muted,
You're
brother.
on mute.
Shit. I'm gonna start with the team that satisfied me the most in the draft. I'm gonna start with the Saints.
I love I love the second wide receiver, Bryce.
So
Bryce.
I felt like they were playing chess with these draft picks because we all thought they were going to get an edge rusher first in the draft. No, they went and go pick up Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State, despite all the injuries he's had. But his 2 years at Arizona State, he had over 1,800 receiving yards. He averaged about 13 yards per reception in his 2 years. He had 18 total touchdowns on 136 total catches in his 2 years at Arizona State. Then you go to the second round. They pick up Christian Miller from Georgia. Then they pick up another Bulldog and tight end Oscar Delp in the third round. But they had some trades they had to get in exchange for players like, fourth round, they traded to the Broncos for getting Devon Bell last season. They even their final pick, they traded to the Patriots for getting Devon Godchaux. But it was when they got to the fourth round, those were solid picks. Jeremiah Wright, they needed a new offensive lineman to go line up with Cesar Ruiz, Taliesin, and company. Bryce Lane was kind of like a holy shit. Like, we got the baby brother of his brother was the quarterback. He was drafted by the Niners. Then Trey Lance. Now he's with the Chargers. It's when they got to the fifth round. That's where we got the edge rusher. They gave the Raiders a pick. They traded their pick to the Raiders to pick up Tyree Wilson, and that was like a steal. Like, now they didn't have to draft one. They picked the very best they could get, and then they cap it off. They get Lorenzo Styles, TJ Hall, and drafted an LSU player for the first time in like freaking 6-7 years in Barry and Brown. The last was Will Clapp.
You had to do it, didn't you?
They gave them a B. I thought they should at least been like an A- at least, but I'll take a B. Now the Texans, Jesus Christ, this was like a bunch of clowns.
What was that shit show?
Last I checked, with all the trades they've had from the previous season, they had a total of 21 picks, but they only picked 8 people. And their biggest problem was if they had more than one pick in that round, they were just picking one and trading the other pick. When they got to the third round, they had 3 picks, and they traded all 3 picks. 2 were back-to-back. When they got to the 7th round, they had 3 straight picks. They're going to pick the first pick, and then the next 2 they traded to the Vikings and the Jaguars, which was so fucking stupid. But Caitlin Rutledge, Kate McDonald, Fabici Nawai. Did I say it right again, Jeremy? I'm sorry. I don't have my clip of Mr. Garvey. Did I say his name right? Fabici Nawai, the guard from Oklahoma?
Yeah, Fabici Nawai. Yeah.
All right. And then they got Kamari Ramsey and Lewis Bond and Aiden Fisher. That was all their picks. A lot of defensive guys.
Kamari Ramsey was probably your best pick of the draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, 2 linemen, and the rest, 1 tight end, and the rest was all defensive players. I mean, at least you got some protection for C.J. Stroud, but they graded this team. It was either a C or a C- in their draft class. I'm shocked they didn't get a fucking D. I'd have graded that team a D for trading all them damn picks. And if they don't,
NFL.com gave him a B, Marcus.
Well, I looked on the ESPN app. They gave him a C or a C-. But then again, everybody on ESPN are idiots anyway. And if they don't make the postseason or win the division, I'm going to blame it on this draft grade. But we're going to see what happens with H-Town. But
Dylan, your Jaguars, what's up with them?
Sorry, it was a big rant.
Earth to Dylan.
How about your Jaguars, Dylan? How do you feel they did in the draft?
Did they holla Duval?
Hey, that's the Orlando Duval in another year, okay?
Oh, so they're playing all their home games in Orlando until they renovate.
For 1 year,
stadium?
as they build to finish off the new stadium, they had this big press conference bringing Duval to Orlando. Yeah, they're gonna play one season in Orlando because everyone knows Orlando's been trying to get a franchise forever. They're never gonna get one, but whatever.
Best they
What are
can
you
do is
guys talking about? Sorry.
Jaguars, Dylan. How'd they do in the draft?
We drafted a tight end in the second round. It seems like we want to play a lot of 2-3 tight end set. Probably our best pick was the Oregon guard. I'm actually a little surprised we didn't draft really a pass rusher, but be honest with you, it seemed like by the time the Jags picked, all the good pass rushers were gone because every other team took pass rushers.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dylan. You guys drafted a Baylor guy in the 6th round named Josh Cameron, who is a really, really good receiver. If he can reach it, he catches it. He's 6'1", played at about 220, and runs really well. I think he ran 4.7 or 4.8 at Pro Day. And y'all got him late. That's going to really be a dark horse pick that you're all going to be really pleased with.
And on Rich's behalf, you even picked up 2 Red Raiders in Jacob Rodriguez and Caleb Douglas.
Yeah.
That's
Wait a minute. We didn't pick up Jason.
No, Rodriguez went to Miami.
Miami did.
Oh, I'm sorry, wrong
Miami
Florida
got
team. I'm
Rodriguez.
sorry. Sorry, that was the bear talking. That was the bear talking.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Actually, I don't have the only thing I have Jaguars for you. I put on my list was your tight end you picked up, and I think that was the only impact. Oh no, y'all drafted a Houston Cougar. Y'all got Tanner Kazoyo, so y'all got 2 tight ends. So that's the only holy shit moment I got from the Jags was y'all draft. The only Houston Cougar to go in the draft was the tight end, Tanner Kazoyo. So I got that one right.
So what team had 0? What team had 0 players drafted from? What team?
I don't know, but I know the SEC barely made it to the finish line because, yeah, Alabama may have had the most in the SEC. Georgia, I think, had the second most. LSU had 7. Vanderbilt had 2 players drafted, and no, not Diego Pavia, but he just got signed by the Baltimore Ravens on a 3-year deal as a free agent.
Yeah. So
Deion Sanders' mighty Colorado Buffaloes had 0 players selected in the draft.
So Belichick.
we're not going to laugh at
Yeah, North
Belichick.
Carolina didn't have any either.
SEC barely made it. But once again, the second year in a row, Ohio State dominated the NFL draft. They had 11 total players drafted. I'm sorry.
By conference, the SEC had 87, the Big Ten had 68, ACC and Big 12 both had 38, and 7 from independents, 4 from the American, the FCS, and the MAC. Excuse me. 3 from the Mountain West, 2 from the Sun Belt, and 1 from the Fighting Conference USA.
Nice.
That's your conference breakdown.
I got something for both Rich and Adam here about y'all Steelers. I'll tell
So,
you 2.
Ken, I know you were on a cruise. We'll get to Steelers in a minute, Marcus. Ken, I know you were on a cruise, and I'm sure you were paying attention, maybe having some beverages, not really paying attention. I don't know. You were on a boat. I probably wouldn't have been paying too much.
No, my son and I were paying attention, and I like the pick of Dylan Thieneman. You know what's great about him too? I kind of thought. Well, I've been saying they're going to take a safety. They did. What I also like about the kid, besides that he looks to be the right player for the system, lifelong Bears fan. I mean, every year, Cole seems to get at least one guy in the draft who's from the Chicagoland area who is a lifelong Bears fan. Every year, it just, I don't think that's just criteria. It just worked out that way. I'm happy. So I was happy with that. You could take an offensive lineman from Iowa with the second pick, the center Logan Jones. Love that pick. Iowa offensive lineman. Yeah, sounds good to me. The only one that kind of threw me for a loop was Sam Roush, the tight end for Stanford. But it makes sense though too. He's tight end 3 right now. Xavier Thomas, an LSU receiver. I was happy with that. I mean, the receiving room didn't need a lot of help, but he's definitely got a shot at third. He's going to make the roster probably. I like the pick. Jordan Vandenberg with our last pick in the 6th, the defensive tackle from Georgia Tech, like him. I actually was happy with the Bears draft. I was not surprised we didn't take an edge rusher. I know a lot of Bears fans like, oh, we didn't get an edge rusher. We knew that going into this draft, that we were not taking an edge rusher because they're full at edge rusher. And they think Dio is going to be the guy that they signed last year, and he's going to be worth $20 million cap hit he hit with this year. So they're good. And we got guys coming up in the wings, young guys like Booker, who Jordan Love really likes a lot. So, the Bears draft was functional. It went the way I kind of expected, minus Roush at tight end. That one did throw me for a second, but upon reflection, not a bad pick. The one thing that did surprise me, though, in the first round of this draft, and it's the first time this has ever happened in NFL history, 3 times in NFL history, 2 running backs from the same school have been taken.
2005.
Okay, well, I wasn't going there, but 3 times it happened.
Reggie
This
Bush,
was the
Mark
first
Ingram,
time in NFL history
where
where the only 2 running backs taken in the first round were from the same school. No other running backs in the first round that did not attend Notre Dame last year. That was what, between that and the Ty Simpson pick, threw me like, the Ty Simpson threw everyone because we saw it. But after the second running back from Notre Dame came off the board, I turned to my boy and said, hey, were there any other running backs taken? He's like, yeah, that, like surprised looking. He said, oh my God, no, there wasn't. The best 2 running backs in the draft class both came from Notre Dame, really? And those were the bigger, with what the Bears did, we were happy, but it was these other things that made us take pause. And of course, what Minnesota didn't do, made us take a little pause, and a little bit what Green Bay didn't do. The Bears did kind of what we expected them to do, and I'm happy.
Cool. So back to the Ty Simpson thing,
do me
real
a
quick.
favor and
The Rams did call Matthew Stafford earlier in the day to ask him if it was okay to take him right there. So it was no real big surprise in the Rams organization. But
well, and they called the backup.
Time out. You're phrasing that wrong, Adam. They called him to tell him they were taking a quarterback.
Right.
It wasn't, can we take a quarterback? We are taking a quarterback. There was no asking him about it. They said they were doing it.
They called all their quarterbacks currently on the roster to let them know what their plan was for the evening, that they were planning on taking. So, I mean, they gave him the heads up. For Matthew Stafford, I don't think he's worried about losing his job. The guy who backs him up might be worried about it. But I thought what the Rams did there by calling their quarterbacks on the roster up and saying, hey, this is what we're going to do, was kind of a classful act, something that Aaron Rodgers wished Green Bay would have done when they drafted Jordan Love.
All right, Marcus, you were asking a question?
Yeah. Oh, I was just telling Ken, I said, do me a favor. Y'all take care of Xavier Thomas and make him a star.
Yeah, I mean, right now you got to figure he's wide receiver 3, maybe 4, because we got a third guy in Walker who's pretty good. I think he's going to compete with Walker for that third slot. But he'll be a part of the rotation for this Bears offense, which looks like it's going to be really good this year. I think he'll get some touches.
All right. Well, Rich and Adam, I just got to give you my 2 holy shit moments on y'all Steelers. So I told Rich about it on Saturday, but when y'all picked up Drew Allar from Penn State, I was kind of like, oh shit, like, is he going to start over who? But I'm going to tell you, y'all had one of the best picks in the whole draft. It was such a great moment.
Dunker, baby. No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm talking about Eli Heidenreich from the Naval Academy. That was a beautiful moment for him. And y'all gave him a great ovation, acknowledged him, and he even came out with the terrible towel and the helmet. I said, man, they better make him a star. Like, if he's getting this big of ovation. And did he just come back from doing a duty? He came in time for the draft?
they permitted him to push back his 5 years till after he's done with football. And he's a Pittsburgh kid. He grew up in Pittsburgh. So,
awesome.
but from
Hometown
everything
man.
that I've seen, I think I was telling Adam about this, or it was you. Their
Yeah, I was gonna say, we
comps
didn't
for
talk
him
about
are
the
Dan
draft pick.
Kreider. Their comps for him are Dan Kreider. And if he can beat Dan Kreider, I'll take that.
Oh yeah. I know one of our draft picks was in the middle of putting, and he got the phone call from the Steelers. I think it was the wide receiver,
It was.
Everlane Jermaine. I think he was on the golf course whenever they got drafted.
Do you think Drew Lars going to start over Aaron Rodgers or?
No, Will
No.
Howard is.
This is still Will Howard's team.
Exactly.
That
But
pick
if I'm
was,
walking in,
that pick was to not bring Rodgers back.
no, if I'm walking into that, and I saw a thing today with someone, with all the crying faces and all that kind of crap, and they had the Steelers quarterback room. Will Howard, Drew Allar, and Mason Rudolph.
I'll take it.
Okay, as long as Mason Rudolph is the number 3 in that situation, I'm good with that. If both guys break their legs, Mason Rudolph has to play. All right, fine. I'll suffice that. But if that's the 3 guys, from my standpoint, that we got to walk into training camp with, fine. I'm good.
What's
One
the
of our guys
scuttlebutt
was
about Rodgers though? Is there? I mean, has there been any news that in your area about? Is he coming back? Is he doing ayahuasca right now to
we
figure
don't
it
really
out?
want him back. I don't
What
want
was
him
that?
back. I mean, his arm
There
was
hasn't
going.
been anything, man. I don't know if
It's
he's smoking
Yoli. Hi, Yoli.
I don't know if he's smoking peyote somewhere or what he's doing. But
He's on one of the magical caves.
But we don't need him back. We don't want him back.
But Dunker is going to be a Pittsburgh lineman.
I think we got 2 starting linemen out of this draft.
I'm
I
excited
really
about Dunker.
Can I say this really quick too? Because this was pre-draft. It is a fact that the Cincinnati Bengals hate their quarterback. Because it got rid of the number 10 pick to take a defensive lineman that I'm surprised the Giants got anything for to begin with. And yet, once again, don't provide any help to save Joe Burrow from being sacked, hit, rushed, smashed, whatever. So your Texans and Cincinnati both hate their quarterbacks. I just want to mention because for the Texans, they just kept getting rid of offensive linemen in the offseason. So, Stroud doesn't need to survive. And obviously, Joe Cool does not need any protection in the NFL because he's just so cool that Myles Garrett will just bounce off some magical force field that he projects from the back gate.
Joe Burrow.
Let me tell you this, guys. I think the Cincinnati Bengals win the AFC North in 2026.
No.
Oh, my goodness.
If they can't get Joe Burrow protection, they ain't winning shit. Joe Burrow might as
So
well
what?
get the hell
Joe
out.
Burrow's got better protection than your quarterback does.
Oh shit, Tyler Shuck is.
Well, no, look at the Texans and the Bengals are the same group. But Dylan's not completely wrong though, because look at the Texans and the Bengals are in the same group. They hate their quarterback. The Texans got rid of a lot of offensive linemen in the offseason. And you're like, what the hell? I mean, do you hate your young quarterback? And then you go to Cincinnati, and they hate their quarterback because they traded their number 10 pick to the Giants for a guy they probably could have gotten for a 5th rounder. Guy who had 2 sacks last year, is nothing but a prom child with 2 years left on his contract, already wants to be the highest paid. I want the bag, blah, 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 that crap. It's like, you hate your quarterbacks. Those 2 teams hate their quarterbacks. They got good quarterbacks. They just hate them for whatever reason.
Joe Burrow needs to get the fuck out of Cincinnati. I mean, it's
Can
hard
I
to find
throw
him.
Can I throw a possible scenario out there?
What's that?
Tyler Shuck is still a work in progress. If Tyler Shuck completely ends up crashing and burning his sophomore year, could anybody besides me see the Saints making some sort of a deal to Cincinnati to get Burrow in New Orleans?
You'd have more protection.
These might sound crazy, but I mean, since we got the Tyler Shuck situation involved and got a quarterback, I didn't really see him going to New Orleans. I pictured 3 teams I could see him ending up with if it don't work with Cincinnati. 2 might be like, are you serious, bro? But I'm trying to think of teams with shitty quarterback situations that could be fit for him. I first said the Jets, but Jets might be a curse. I said the 49ers would be a good fit for him too. And then I said Miami, but fuck Miami. If they don't work with who they got now, shit, they might go after fucking Arch Manning or something in 2027.
Let me tell you this, Marcus. I don't think the Saints need to worry about a quarterback. I think Tyler Shuck's really good.
Well, yeah, they
Arizona.
got their guy.
Look,
Well, they just drafted Carson Beck. So
yeah, but I mean,
they got.
But if you're Cincinnati and you're going to trade Burrow, you want him out of the AFC. Arizona would make. Yeah, you draft the Carson Beck where? I mean, who would you rather have, Burrow or Beck?
Could you imagine him in Minnesota?
Minnesota be good.
I don't want to imagine that. I don't even want. No, don't take those words out of your mouth, Rich. Go get.
It would be a hell of a fit.
Watching.
It would be a hell
Blasphemy.
of a fit, guys.
Blasphemy,
Sorry,
Rich.
Ken. Sorry, Jeremy. But I mean, it's a great fit.
Blasphemy. My ass, it's a great fit.
Then
Joe Burrow in Minnesota would be the worst possible fit in the history of the NFL.
Yep,
Don't even go there, Big Rich.
Look, for Jason's sake,
it would be
Sorry,
a lot
guys.
like the Bengals. Their O line isn't that good either.
Yeah,
Hey,
Look at the
look,
receiver.
you got
the
all three
receivers would be
NFC North
equal,
teams.
kind of.
Yeah, the
Rich?
receivers would be equal. The
Rich,
defense is better.
Yeah.
You got the entire NFC North to agree that no, we don't want to see Joe Burrow in Minnesota.
Is that a first time ever?
Maybe.
I don't know, but I'd rather
Maybe.
fuck. I'll take Joe Burrow as a Packer.
I mean, you will.
No.
Look,
You will never-
Not in the NFC North. Send
You
them
will
to
never
Indy.
see. You will never see Jeremy, Ken, and I holding hands singing "Kumbaya" on an NFL Sunday, but we are all mutually agreed that Joe Burrow in Minnesota was a no-go, baby.
Yeah.
By the way, I'll tell you this. I think this is Kevin O'Connell's last season in Minnesota.
We'll see how the Keebler
I
out works
can't-
there, but I mean,
I can't.
look at
I
the
can't
problem with
see
Joe
him.
Burrow, even for Minnesota, is the money.
I
Green
think
Bay, yeah, you're trading out Jordan Love. I don't know if the Packers want to trade Jordan Love for Joe Burrow. I mean, I don't want to see it. And when you look at, are we going to trade Caleb for Joe? No. Are the Lions going to trade Goff for him? No. I mean, so the NFC North is out, and the Vikings can't afford it anyway. But if he gets traded, I can see him going to the NFC. I mean, the 49ers
the West.
are interesting, but they still like Purdy.
The team
It's gotta
that'll
be the
have the
West.
most cap space next year, it's either going to be the Saints or the Cardinals.
Yeah.
It's got to be the NFC West because.
Oh, I've got a trivia question for you guys.
No, wait. O'Connell's on contract till 2030.
No, I'll tell you what I think happens. The Vikings just got a new GM. If this season goes, you know what? I think Kevin O'Connell is going to coach the Philadelphia Eagles.
No,
I
they
think
didn't.
Kevin-
They didn't hire him yet. They didn't hire a GM.
They haven't hired a GM yet.
Yeah, they're GM-less. They don't have a GM.
I think
They
the
said they weren't going to
Minnesota.
hire a GM until after the draft.
That's
they're
why I
just
think
not
Kevin
gonna
O'Connell's gone, unless the
Well,
Vikings
I mean,
go like
I think O'Connell might be safe. I think Quezzy's taking the blame for James McCarthy and some of the other moves. I mean, look, when Quezzy didn't even know who his star player was when they did the little Netflix or the little Amazon thing last year, everyone saw that it was Jetta, except for Quezzy. He's the only one who didn't figure it out. I mean, dude, it was obvious. Quezzy was the issue. He was probably spending too much time at the Learning Center and not enough time at the Learning Center. They're fine. You know what? Honestly, Dylan, if I was going to say there's a coach in the NFC North who's going to be out the fastest of the four, the guy right now who's on the hot seat the most in the NFC North resides in Green Bay, and that's LaFleur. He's on the hottest of the seats in the NFC North right now. There were Packer fans willing, like last year when they went to New York to play the Giants, there were Packer fans like, if we lose this game to the Giants, LaFleur needs to be fired. And then look at the playoff. What happened at the end of the year in the playoff? LaFleur is on a bigger hot seat than any of the other coaches in the NFC North right now. So KOC is fine. He's not going.
I've got two questions for you. I've got a question for you guys. In 1982 and 1983, two interim managers led their teams to the World Series. Could you name both managers?
Nope.
No, because we were talking football. So.
I know we were talking football. What the fuck?
And I'm fixing to bounce because I go live at the top of the hour.
Mm-hmm.
For what? Is your show going live at 10?
10 Eastern, 9 Central. Yeah, 1 year anniversary show of On the Go, part 1.
Nice.
I saw that.
You're debuting that new video, aren't you?
You damn right I am. Woo! Thank you, by the way.
Oh, we got a new video. What do we got, Marcus? What do we got?
Well,
it's
a
nice
new
preview.
New song, courtesy of Jeremy. I just took two
of
my
play
old
it for us.
intros.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Jeremy's got to play it. I don't have it.
He didn't even send it over yet.
You have the video though.
I have the video. I just took my first two intros and collabed them and mixed them together with the little part-time one I had last week. So you're gonna see the bus in the video.
We'll change the room. Put it on. Let's check it out.
Okay. Hopefully no one gets popped out when I switch real quick, like fucking last time. I back up.
There we go.
No, I don't have that fucking thing. It's just Dylan. There he goes. Dylan can do it. No?
Hey, there I am.
Who else?
There's
is missing?
Jason.
Oh, we got to get this. Everybody?
There. Yep.
Yeah, we're all here.
All right. Here we go.
I kind of like watching that.
We rolling deep across our 10 in the dirty south where the rivers blend from Lake Charles to Baton Rouge. We riding with the saints under them southern skies. We hustle hard, ain't no time to stop. Drive to the top, it's our time to shine. From Nola's heart, we redefine the grind. Southwest Louisiana, stand up proud. With every beat, we bring the heat, hear the crowd. From Houston streets to Lafayette, Long McNeese. Right, let the raging cages flow. DJ 30 South, turn it up loud. Marking our vibes, yeah, we make our proud. Get on the bus, we coming alive. Drive to the top, it's our time to shine. From Nola's heart, we redefine the grind. Southwest Louisiana, stand up proud.
Nice.
Good shit. Somebody got mad.
What do you mean got mad?
Dylan's gone.
Yeah.
It was a minute and 44 seconds. But
Nice.
all right, I gotta go piss it away.
What did you guys think of the music that I did for him?
Yeah, it was good, JB. I liked it. It was almost
He did the
as good as
music.
this.
He did the music. He did the music. I did the video, and you should hear his rock song from KCB.
Oh, they've heard it.
But and then your other. Oh no, everyone heard your intro for your Lions talk show. So,
Yeah.
you heard those. Yeah, he had it like playing like 10 times in a row while we were watching the draft watch along. So like by the 9th time, I think I already knew the lyrics.
It's catchy.
I liked it. I like it a lot.
I love it a lot.
All right,
I
there's
like
something-
it a lot.
The theme that I created for the KCB Sports Network, it reminds me of like the end of the arena rock era when it started to get into its power move. Yeah.
All right, I'm
Our
bouncing.
kind of music, Ken.
All right, Marcus. Congratulations on 1 year too, buddy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations on that anniversary.
Part 1 tonight.
Sorry, I didn't get you a cake or anything. Sorry.
No, I didn't need none of that. I'm just mainly doing first round holy shit picks and the Texans picks and LSU guys. I'm doing the Saints picks tomorrow. I'm bringing a familiar face on that used to cover Saints football and all that. Now he moved to Baton Rouge. He
Like
works
that,
for
Mike?
in Baton Rouge. Hell yeah, I like that, Mike.
JB's
Logan
trying
will
to
be coming on
Oh, I'm
tomorrow.
sorry.
So tomorrow, late show, but I mean, you can catch the replay on Thursday because we're going live at 11:30 at night tomorrow night.
No,
when he
just for
gets
you,
off the
Ken.
air. But
Hey, Jason, I said something
Yes.
about your head coach. Was I wrong, or do you disagree, or do you agree with what I said?
Ken, if I disagreed with anything you said about Matt LaFleur, believe me, I would have interrupted you.
Okay.
No, you're absolutely spot on. LaFleur's seat right now is so hot that all the cheese in Wisconsin's turning into nacho cheese. And I think the thing that's most frustrating with LaFleur is that, you know, in the months since the end of the season, he's publicly come out and said he's acknowledged, you know, what he's done right, what he's done wrong, but he also has said, well, I need to be a better communicator. Well, I need to be this. Well, I need to be that. It's like, really? Because these are the traits that you're supposedly supposed to be a genius about. You're supposed to be a genius when it comes to communication and when it comes to play calling. And myriad other things. So you're absolutely right. Packers fans right now are on a freak out scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, 1 being the least. It's about a 9.5 with LaFleur. And I would say that his leash is about 5.5 feet much thinner as they get ready to head into OTAs and once training camp's fully open here at the end of July, beginning of August.
And I'll add that Jay Love's leash is not much longer. There's great compilation videos from the Bears Packer games at the end of the year where these Packer fans are just straight torching the signing of Love, the amount of money they're paying Love. If the wheels fall off in Green Bay, if they start out 0-4, 1-5, or 2-6, something like that, I could see complete upheaval in Green Bay. And let's be honest, Jason, I mean, the Packers have not seen that in 3 decades. So this is going to be for Adam and Rich, and you're going to see something that you may have never seen. Rich, you've seen it. You're an old fucker like me. Adam, you're decently old, but most Packer fans, dude, they don't remember a time when they weren't winning the division or having a winning record every year. For 30 plus years, they've been the best of the worst, so to speak.
Yeah,
And
you went through Brett Favre, you went through Aaron Rodgers for almost 2 decades.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like almost 3 decades that they've been a really good football club. It's going to be epic if the wheels fall off in Green Bay this year. Grab your popcorn, as T.O. used to say, because it's going to be epic. And the older fans are going to know how to react. It's the younger fans that are going to be so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and I think, interestingly enough, Ken, all the pressure on Green Bay's future, when you think about it, isn't on – I mean, it's on Matt LaFleur, obviously, to an extent. He's obviously the head coach. But the bulk of the pressure falls on Ed Policy's shoulders because, while they have Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur, commiserating and deciding on player and personnel and everything else, ultimately, at the end of the day, they pass everything on to Ed Policy. And, it's got to be up to Ed Policy to decide, okay, are we at this point right now with the direction of our franchise where 4 years ago we were all in unison that we were heading down the Super Bowl path? Well, now for the last 3 seasons, that Super Bowl path has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where we went from 12, 13 wins just a few seasons ago down to 9 wins and missing the postseason entirely. So, and that window of opportunity to compete for a Super Bowl is really year to year. In today's NFL, you can no longer measure it by clumps of years, but year to year. So Ed Policy, it's all on his shoulders to determine where they go beginning this season, moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, and the Lions usurped them for a couple of years. And look it looks bad for LaFleur and Love because since the LaFleur-Love thing has started, compared to not just Ben Johnson, Caleb, but just Caleb, dude, they have no division championships. They have a playoff win. They do have that. but the Bears just not only overtook you, but beat you in the playoffs. So I can understand why Packer fans are, shall we say, on edge about about policy, about Gutekunst, about Love, about the moves, and why they're more under the microscope now than I can remember them being in the last decade.
Yeah, and I think, getting back to Jordan Love really quickly, I like Jordan Love. I think to some extent he got thrust into a situation that he was prepared for, but the people that were supposed to prepare him for it didn't do a good job of doing it. Because I mean, and what I do is I look at the contract they just gave Jaden Reed. They extended Jaden Reed, I think, an additional 3 years at $30 million or something like that. Okay, that's great, but where's your number one receiver? Is Jaden Reed going to be your number one receiver because of that contract? Does he make Love a better quarterback? He hasn't made him a better quarterback up until now. Christian Watson hasn't made him a better quarterback until now. So really,
you lost two of the Jay. You also lost two of the guys that he threw to all the time. One went to New England and one went to Green Bay.
Exactly.
Christian Watson this year is my JMO. So last year for the Lions, JMO was dynamic. The year before last, JB would tell you, hey, he was dynamic when he got the ball. The receiving skills weren't quite there yet, but man, you put the man on an end around, he could pop it. He was dynamic, and that's where Watson is for me right now for the Packers. He's dynamic with the ball in his hand. The problem is, as a receiver, getting the ball in his hand isn't happening. If he can have a JMO-like season like JMO had last year, that's good for Watson. That's good for Green Bay. It takes, then they've got something cooking, at least with him. Because I look at their first-round pick last year, -1 catch in the playoffs. You're like, where's Golden at? He wasn't too golden.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there for a second, and I'll tell you why. I disagree with you partially, okay? I don't blame Matthew Golden for being a bust last season. It wasn't because Matthew Golden was a bust because Matt LaFleur did not utilize him at all. There was about a 5 or a 6 game stretch where you couldn't even see Golden on the sideline. Where was this guy? And when he did come in,
week 2 to week 7, he wasn't even on the field, and he wasn't on the injury report.
Yeah,
this is what bothered me, because at the same time, we had Tesla catch 5 catches for 3 touchdowns, and 2 of them with one hand.
Or look what Luther Burden was doing in Chicago, and that's what really.
Burden really didn't hit the field until wasn't it around week 8 for Burden when he finally really burst on the scene? There was somebody hurt. I can't remember who it was when he finally got back. It was mid-season when he came on, but he never left the field after that.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the field in the first half, but he wasn't getting the ball a lot, but he was running routes, drawing coverage. Because I was shocked to find out Luther Burden III was the most efficient route runner in the NFL last year. I was like, whoa, okay. But I think what got me going back to the Packers, though, with Golden was, I'm like, what kind of disconnect was there? Like, was it a disconnect between policy and Goody, or Goody and LaFleur, or all three of them? I mean, what was the big disconnect? You finally do something you haven't done in 2 decades. You took a wide receiver in the first round, and then he sat there collecting dust for like the whole year, and he was a massive bust. Everyone's going, ha ha, this is why you don't take wide receivers. Well, no, it wasn't. Golden's not a bad receiver. They just didn't do anything with them. It was like you buy a Ferrari and you put it in the driveway and you never drive it. That's what they did with him.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And so that's why I'm willing to give Golden a pass on last season. And that's also why, to an extent, I'm willing to still give Jordan Love another season here to see what he can do. And again, it's all contingent, though, guys, on what Green Bay can put around him, because Jaden Reed would be a complimentary 3 or 4 receiver on any other team. He's not a number 1 receiver. Christian Watson, as of yet, he could be a 1 receiver, but because he can't stay healthy, hasn't been able to prove that. So, with that being said, though, Jordan, I think, also needs to assert himself a little bit more. He's been in this league now for going on 5-6 seasons. He needs to finally step up also. It's on him to be, as the starting quarterback, to finally say, okay, I'm putting this team on my shoulders. I'm going to show everybody what I can do.
He did that his first year starting, but you haven't seen it since. And plus, he's had injury problems. So that, he had that one great year, They didn't accept the 5th-year option because they didn't know what they had when he started that season.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest mistake that your GM made at the time. Not accepting that 5th-year option and keeping his cap hit under $20 million another year to give you another evaluation year. Because I bet with the way it happened and not winning the division and losing the first round of the playoffs the second year, you guys probably wouldn't have gave him a $55 million contract.
Well, and look at Caleb Williams outshined him in the 2 wins for sure. And almost actually, you could say in all 3 games, he was outshined by Caleb Williams. Highlight plays, driving
it was a
the
blocked
ball
field goal that
40.
won the one game for you towards the end of the season for the Packers. It wasn't because Caleb Williams played bad.
I mean, it was just like look at Love. They had the opportunity and he couldn't complete the ball. It fell short, right? Just like Caleb did in the loss. I mean, but I can understand why Love is on a leash, and I feel bad for younger Packer fans because I don't think they know how to deal with what's going on in Green Bay right now. And us older fans are looking, going, no, this kind of makes sense. This is kind of like part of the life cycle. And yet they're still competitive this year. I expect them to be competitive, but they also, to me, have the highest possibility of the wheels falling off. And that's with Minnesota in this division because Minnesota's defense is still going to be ridiculous. And maybe Kyler fixes their quarterback situation because that was their situation offensively. But Green Bay, to me, I don't know. They took the big swing last year. They whiffed. I mean, it sucks for them. Micah got hurt when he got hurt. So, but I thought last year I was like, this is either an all or nothing, and it seems like it's more like it was going to be an all or nothing bid with Micah, and it failed, and they're not going to be able to keep it together. And they're like, in the North for me, they're the biggest bust possibility of the 4 teams for me. And it's weird to be in that point when you talk about the Packers because for the last 3 decades, that doesn't really enter your mind. And this year it does because you look at the offensive line issues. And I love Zach Tom, great kid, but their offensive line has issues. They did almost nothing to address it. Defensively, they're going to be a team in transition, which means the first half of the season is going to be interesting as they transition that team, that defense. And how healthy is Micah coming back? And then, offensively, you go back again to, okay, the receiving issues. Who's going to be the guy behind Jacobs? Their tight end issues. They got a great tight end 1. After that, you got guys who are like, we need another tight end. So Green Bay they're an interesting club to watch this year as the season progresses to see where they end up.
Yeah. I mean, defensively, you talk about Micah, and obviously we know Micah is not expected back with the team probably until about around the mid-season point at best. So, also Jonathan Gannon brings in a much different scheme than what they had under their previous defensive coordinator. So how will he adjust to a new scheme under Jonathan Gannon? Also on special teams. We were abysmal on special teams last season. They did what I wanted them to do. They got rid of Rich Bisaccia. But now we're going to have a whole new special teams game plan in action. So you're right. You're right, Ken. It feels like the Packers are already going through the hard knocks of transition without it not feeling that way, if it makes sense. Because you're right. We, for the first time in, I would say maybe 15, 20 years, we're going into a season with more question marks with more questions unanswered than questions answered. And that is scary for us because, like you said, that pecking order in the NFC North changed a lot last season, and it's going to change again this upcoming season.
And what's scary is last year the NFC North had all 4 teams with a winning record, which they were the only division in football to do that. Everyone was at least 9-8. I mean, the difference between making the playoffs and not was literally a half a game between the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings. A half a game difference. It's a tight division. The Bears winning 11 was an extra treat for me. I had the range in 7-10. Pretty much where I am this coming early. I'd say that's probably where I am this year. I'll have to look at how the schedule lines up, first. But that North is tough. And the 2 teams I worry about the most, the Packers, they seem to like the biggest fall-off potential. The Lions, to me, their offensive line, It used to be phenomenal. It's fallen off, and I don't see. I think they could have problems offensively a little bit. And then for me, for Minnesota, it was like the quarterback was their issue, and I think what they did maybe solves it a lot better. But I still put the Lions ahead of the Vikings for sure. But the Vikings are like, I don't think they're gonna be bad. I don't think they're gonna be in the basement, or the Lions, I mean. But for me, it's gonna be interesting to watch the Lions how they react on that offensive line this year, which they addressed their defensive needs, I thought, adequately. For me, their offensive line, which used to be the best in the league, now definitely is not. And I would have liked to see them do more as a Lions fan per se. As a Bears fan, I'm happy with what they didn't do. But I think if I was gonna look at like the teams to watch where it could get interesting, Packer fans, if those wheels fall off the bus, Lions fans, if that offensive line gets Goff early in trouble and they don't recover, that's gonna be interesting because the nouveau Lions fans will fall off that wagon really quickly, while the old fans like JB, like, hey guys, just chill out, it'll be okay. And that's gonna be fun to watch from a fan perspective, watching other fans.
So I have to ask if you're looking at the total season ranking for Cade Mays, or did you look at the individual game rankings for the only 6 games he played at center to end the season? I want to know what you're looking at. Because if you're looking at the overall ranking, it was abysmal because he didn't have enough snaps compared to everybody else. But in the individual games, he was a top 6 center in the league those 6 games.
No, so I'm fine with that, and we'll see what the more work does. But it's like I like what, like, for instance, I like what the Bears did when Dahlman retired. They went out and they got Bradbury. Then they go out and they take a guy early in the draft, and then they go get Olin Kreutz's kid as a invitee to camp. So they stacked it, right? They're bringing in 3 centers to fill the gap. And when I look at Detroit, I'm like, I'm not just looking at center, I'm just looking at overall. I don't feel like they brought enough backfill for the Lions overall.
I'm trying to figure out how you get that because they drafted Blake Miller to be the starter. They have Juice Scruggs. They have Larry Borum. They added 3 more guards.
You just say Larry Borum
as a swing tackle, which is what he's good at. He's not good at right tackle.
Never see the field again. He's terrible. He was terrible in Chicago. He's terrible in Miami. And I look at Borum, JB. Borum is the guy that you hope he gets cut by camp. I'm serious, man. I mean, for me though, it's like the Lions went from being the best offensive line in football a couple years back, and now for me, that's it's become kind of a question mark for me until I see it flesh out.
I think they improved it greatly this season. To me, and our biggest problem last year was that bum Graham Glasgow, who does not know how to play center. He didn't play center good in Denver. He's okay for 1 or 2 starts, but he falls apart. He doesn't communicate, and that's why there was so much inconsistency with the guard play last year because the center is the communicator.
Yeah, JB, I'm not saying the Lions are going to implode or anything. I'm just saying it's going to be interesting to see how this new offensive line works for them. Because I think that for me personally, I would have liked to see them maybe bring in some more talent than what they did, but we'll see how it plays.
The problem was the number 1 free agent we couldn't afford. That was Tyler Linderbaum. The other one, the second best one, got re-signed by Buffalo. Do you know who the 3rd best center in free agency was this year?
The guy you got.
Yes. So we got the best guy we could out of what was there.
But
that's what I'm saying.
Though, I'm talking also from a depth perspective. Like I would have liked. Look at JB. I'm not attacking your team. I'm just saying.
But you kind of did. You said it's awful, and I was like, wait a minute. We improved it greatly. Panay Sewell's now going to be our left tackle.
Hey guys, hold on. Jay, do you want to tell people how to get you real quick? Yeah, I just saw your message.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I got to jet out of here. Just for anyone who wants to follow me on Twitter, there's my handle there at Dodger Jason. Feel free to follow me anytime you want. Guys, it's been a joy and a pleasure talking football with you again tonight. Take care. Peace out. God bless.
Absolutely, Jay. Anytime, you know that, buddy.
Yep, anytime. Okay, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
All right, man. See you.
I love Jason's shirt tonight, by the way. The Metallica shirt. Love it.
Jeremy, what are you do you want us to call up your logo? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I said that's the new logo for baseball talks on Saturday.
Hopefully we have internet. It's supposed to be 30 degrees at my camp.
Ooh, nice.
I think that looks a
if
lot
I'm
better.
going, I don't even know if I'm going yet. They're supposed to be opening it this weekend, so
So
I'm
that's going to
more
be our
worried about
new
that. I'm
background
more
and the
worried about
logo
it.
for the show, the whole 9 yards.
I like it. I'm more worried about if we're going to get any more snow off this freaking. I guess
Yeah,
Colorado got a 2-foot dump, huh?
yeah. Well, that's the Rockies. They always get dumped by 2 foot of snow. It's like living in Alaska or Montana.
Even at this time of year.
Yes,
Yeah.
they get snow till the end of May in the
Yeah,
Rockies.
it's a chilly 74 degrees here in Florida.
I mean, right now in Michigan, we got a balmy 52.
Hey, it's 63 here.
I
Rich, what do
complain
you
my
got?
pool's not warm enough yet for use. It's below 80, so I can't use it.
It's 78 here. We had a cold front kick through. It's been over 90 the last couple of days. We had a cold front kick through. We got some storms happening. In
Yeah, I
fact,
was in Texas.
DFW just got hit with some tornadoes.
Well, I was in Alaska.
Our thoughts are with those folks up in Dallas. I saw some stuff in Mineral Wells, which is just outside of Fort Worth. Businesses and homes, I mean, literally just flattened.
I was at Lackland a couple weeks ago for my son's Air Force graduation, and it was just hot. Like it was just San Antonio was just
San Antonio.
Yeah. You know, let's be honest about San Antonio. The river walking and all that. It just isn't.
Really? I've never been there.
It's like the
okay.
two things you do in San Antonio: the river walk and the Alamo. And the Alamo was cool and all. It was cool to walk the Alamo, and we spent a day doing that. But the river walk, I've been before, and my wife had never been, so she really wanted to go. And my son, that's where he wanted to go at, for the first day of it's now graduation in the Air Force is a 2-day process with a ton of time with family. Unlike when I went through basic, you got like 3 hours of, quick go to Taco Bell and be back. So we took him down, and everyone was just like, "Really, this is it?" Yeah.
Nothing spectacular.
Yeah, I remember when Lindsay graduated, it was a whole weekend thing, and it was a lot of empty time in that whole thing too. But they were restricted how far away they could go from base and all that kind of thing. And
well, on the coining ceremony day, because they get coins now, just for graduating, so they can find that they're airmen instead of basic trainees. You had to be back at like 1800. They said, but if you go to the Spurs game, you have until 2300 or 2200, something like that. So we bought the tickets for the Spurs game. We left with like a minute or two left in the second quarter because we had to get them back on time. And that was nice. And the next day you do graduation, you're done by 9:30 and you have them until 1800. So you have them a whole second day. So it's like the vendors are making money because everyone's buying the proud. I mean, I got my Proud Air Force father shirt, Proud Air Force dad shirt. Mine though was a shopette special for $10. But these vendors are selling the Proud Air Force uncle, cousin, aunt, whatever T-shirts at like $25 a pop. My sister's buying Air Force T-shirts like they're going out of style and keychains and all this other crap. The vendors made money hand over fist with the Air Force graduation down there at Lackland. But the one thing I'll tell you, if anyone who's watching is ever going to go to Lackland, make sure you're on the list because it was a 4-hour wait at the gate to get on. So we went back. They graduated, and we stayed in town an extra day. My mom and my sister were there. We were going to go back to the commons, to the PX. Or I'm sorry, the BX, as the Air Force calls it.
The BX, yeah.
I obviously have a military ID. My wife has a military ID. I can go to almost any post in the country, show my military ID. Hey, I got my mom and my sister with me. Cool. They let you in. They're like, nope, you have to go to the front gate, do the stuff. 4 hours to wait to go to the PX. I'm like, forget that.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it's funny. It's really funny because I had 2 of my dad's coins. My dad was a frogman. And from everything that I have seen and I have heard from what Lindsay has told me, that trumps everything.
What, the coins?
The frogman coin, yeah, trumps everything. Because that was the predecessor to the SEALs. This was the underwater demolition unit that no longer exists. They created the SEALs for guys that couldn't make it in UDT. So that it's funny because she's had that coin and her coin will work occasionally.
And
She
the
flips
first
out the Frogman coin, and it's like, oh,
I mean, the
Hold
Trump.
on, Kenton. Hold on, Jeremy. Go ahead.
the first frogmen were World War II, and one of them was my grandfather, and he actually served in both arenas of the war. He was
my
at
dad was
Normandy on
Vietnam.
D-Day. He was at Normandy on D-Day, and he was actually on a ship that was 7 miles from Nagasaki and 9 miles from Hiroshima when they blew up.
Wow.
When it comes to coins,
That's
the
cool.
Trump coin currently is Trump's coin. The presidential coin is the Trump coin. After that, the vice president's coin. After that, the SecDef or Sec War coin. After that, the number 4 coin would be the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. I have that coin. I have a chairman of the Joint Chiefs coin that was presented to me. So there's a pecking order. So like that Frogman coin would be a Trump coin within up to a
The
certain
military
level.
ranks.
Then you start getting like
that's all.
like
Then you got civilian stuff.
well, no, because it's stars and like that's like I have a transportation coin that okay, it might trump my transportation coin, but not a coin I have from a brigade an 06, or even a lieutenant colonel command coin. There's no differences in the coin game, but that's really so actually it's funny because I actually had one of my coins left loose from Iraq when I was a company commander in Iraq, and I coined my son with it. It was just me, him, and my wife, because we were the only ones who parked in the appropriate parking lot. So I gathered them up after the coining ceremony, and we had our own ceremony where I gave him my coin, which trumped the coin he just got. And it was a great moment, and he almost broke down. It was really cool to be able to do that. But yeah, it's funny how they just get a coin for graduating basic now. So I gave him a real coin. So now he's
yeah,
I don't know anything about.
yeah, and that was the thing. It was my dad's, and she was close to my dad, and because she didn't know I had it. She knew I had one. She didn't know I had two. And so it was pretty cool to be able to give that to her at graduation, all that kind of stuff. So I understand what you're saying. I do. It's pretty cool to see it happen. And she's still in Italy right now, doing her thing.
Vicenza? Rich, Vicenza?
I'm sorry?
Is she at Vicenza?
You got to translate.
Vicenza, Italy. Is that where she is?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. You were breaking up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good place to be. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, and actually
she loves it.
My son's gonna end up. Looks like he's gonna be in Louisiana, so we might be on the go. There, that shows on.
She got sent. Lindsay went to Wichita Falls, Texas, to start with, and then she ended up going to Tucson, Arizona, for quite a while, and then they shipped her out to Italy.
Yeah, so pretty cool stuff. But yeah, it's funny though because we went to that basketball game. I was so bored by it. Hey, when did this start happening? I remember going to a basketball game. They didn't play music for the whole fucking game. Like
They've been doing that for a long time.
System was playing music the entire game.
I thought like a hockey game. They do it during hockey games too.
No, not NHL. I've never been to a Blackhawks game where they're playing music over the PA for the whole hockey game.
Usually, I've been to Stars games and Penguins games that were like that. You hear the dun 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 dun.
Oh yeah, like you'll get that, but no, these guys were playing like
music,
R&B, hip hop, artist songs, trap.
So weird.
You'll get that.
So weird because you don't hear it on TV.
No, because I'm used to going to a basketball game and hearing the basketball game, not Nicki Minaj. It's like, am I at a concert or a basketball game?
Yeah, that's been a long time, man. They've been doing that for a long time.
Wow. I went to a Bulls game in Atlanta about 5-6 years ago, and they weren't playing music the whole game in Atlanta. Like, you actually heard the basketball game, the ball in the court, squeak of the sneakers, all that stuff. Now, you just hear music.
Yeah, I took the girls to a Mavericks game probably 10 years ago, and I'd say about 2/3 of the game you had music playing.
So weird.
I mean, yeah, I always get to Oregon, the dun 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 dun. Like you have stuff like that, but this was like music. Like they just had a Spotify playlist and let it go for the game. And you're just like, that was it.
No.
I guess we need soundtracks for games because you don't get that in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? When the play starts, the music stops. You know what I'm saying? But
Right,
on
right.
NBA, nope, it's just a big music video. And basketball,
Yeah.
half of it played.
All right, kids. Are we ready to wrap this up?
Sure.
Sure.
Jeremy, I want to know what site you go on to make those videos. You can tell me after.
I didn't make the video for Marky Mark. I just did the music.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. He did the video using CapCut.
I'm not going to close this out like Dylan. I'm going to go old school and let everyone tell everyone what's going on for the week.
Really? I get to say it? Well, you can find me on my channel, which is Kneecap Biting or Kneecap Sports Network. KCB Sports. I go live every day at noon talking about the Lions, except for this Wednesday because I have some commitments to take care of. I also do the Yeah, I know. And I also do the Wednesday night NFL Roundtable Talks, the Friday night Lions Fan Cave Chat, and then our show, if we all can be there, the Baseball Roundtable Talks, where we discuss all things MLB.
Yeah, I think we both missed our baseball shows this week.
We did. I was not in baseball mode. I was in my brain as much after 24 hours of podcasting over the weekend.
Yeah, baseball was on my mind, but I was just burned out yesterday. I was just overwhelmed. It was one of those days.
I forgot I had a fantasy team. How does that tell you?
Wow. Well, end of the month for me is always rough anyway. So it just, you guys not being able to do didn't break my heart a drop.
It kind of gave us a
Dylan said they could have asked me to run it. I said they don't want a trivia show. They want people who are fans of the Diamond. I actually told him that.
We'll talk. Yeah, that I do. Yeah. Anyway, Ken, what do you got going on, brother? Now that you're back,
you can find me on the KCB Network as well for almost all my shows. For Ken and Ken in the morning every day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Central, 11 on the East. You can find me on the KCB Net on KCB YouTube, as well as Talking Sports 18 on X. My main is still hacked, and Customer Sports just thinks I still think I'm not even getting to how bad X is, but you can catch me on X, catch me on JB's YouTube. We've been taking a hiatus with the Bears shows. I think we might do one this Sunday. I don't know. It's the off season. Everyone takes summer vacations. Of course, hopefully I'll be back here on Tuesdays after my little hiatus, and I'll be back with JB on Wednesday. It's been nice. I've had a lot. I'll talk to you guys after. So I've had a lot going on lately, and of course I just went on vacation, had the graduation. So, and there's some other stuff which I won't get to on air, but I'll tell you guys off air. But it's been crazy. So hopefully I'll be kind of getting back to a normal schedule. But yeah, you catch me at Talking Sports 18 on X and on the KCB YouTube Sports channel.
Sweet. Rich, we'll be back here tomorrow night on doing Steel City Sports.
Yeah.
Thursday, Jeremy, we doing Fired Up?
There is no Fire Up because Candy and Scott are in Portugal and probably heading towards Morocco on their cruise of the Mediterranean.
So maybe Thursday night, Jeremy, we could do a recap of the baseball week.
Maybe Thursday night. I'm gonna have another night off.
Okay. All right. I was just asking.
Next week we can, because I got 3 weeks of no show on Thursday.
Okay.
This week I got something I need to do with someone special.
Okay. I'm gonna take my laptop and my notebook if I do go to camp this weekend. So if I can't get Wi-Fi yet because it might not be turned on, I won't be there. But because my phone will not run my laptop.
Hey JB, is this gonna be
some of that? Yeah.
More kids on the way.
Oh God, who's the grandfather? No, that's my dad.
I just found out my daughter's having my second grandchild. She's having a boy.
Oh, congratulations.
Cool. Congratulations. You know the funny part? I actually had a really good audience participation game tonight too. And it got messed up.
Yeah, we can talk about that all off screen. But I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. We're not doing Diddy parties here. We don't do that stuff on this channel.
No.
Anyway, Jeremy cleared that up for you. Anyway, thanks for everyone tuning in, and everybody have a good evening.